story now, the return of the ISIS brides and their children. 3 of the 4 women were arrested at airports in Melbourne and Sydney last night. Joining us live now is the Shadow Communications Minister, Sarah Henderson. Sarah, good morning to you. So what are your thoughts on their arrival last night?
Well, Peter, good morning. I'm here in Corowa, in the heart of Farah, and I have to say this is a national security scandal. The government has got a lot of explaining to do. These women who have returned after going to Syria to join, frankly, a death cult, one of the most heinous terrorist organisations in this country. The government has got a lot of explaining to do. Its fundamental obligation is to keep Australians safe, and it's very, very clear it has not done that. So why were passports issued to these women? Why have no temporary exclusion orders been put in place? What monitoring and other security arrangements are now in place? The government has allowed these women to come into this country through the back door, and this Prime Minister has lied to the Australian people and has much explaining to do.
Well, Tony Burke said this week that it's very difficult to stop someone returning to their home country. 3 of them were arrested on arrival, some charges, more to come later. There are de-radicalisation programs that will now be set for the kids. What more could be done?
Well, as I just mentioned, the government has the powers not to issue passports. The government has the powers to impose temporary exclusion orders. Why has the government failed to do that? We know that Tony Burke was working with Save the Children secretly to get these ISIS brides into this country. What is he doing to safeguard the community and to keep Australians safe? It is really appalling that the government has allowed this to happen. It has facilitated the return of these women and their children, Pete. There's no doubt about it. But what's really significant here, it has breached the trust of the Australian people by blatantly lying about its involvement.
Do you expect others to follow this cohort of ISIS brides, because there are more behind?
Well, who would know? But what I can say is this is a national security scandal. This government has lost control of our borders. This government has lost control of community safety. And this is a very dark day for the Albanese government.
OK, now you mentioned that you're there in the electorate of Farah. We are one day out from the by-election, and a stoush between a One Nation volunteer and James Patterson really set the scene for how tense things are on the ground. Now, after initially apologising to the senator, the One Nation team have now changed their tune completely, and Farley even likening Patterson to a mongrel dog on Sky last night. What are your thoughts on that, Sarah?
Well, I can say one thing, Pete. Raisa Batowski, our wonderful Liberal candidate here in Farah, is not going to be engaging in that sort of unedifying behaviour, that sort of verbal abuse. She's really focused on the needs of the people of Farah. They are really hurting. Families, small businesses, farmers, whether it's water, whether it's local health services, whether it's regional infrastructure. So you can be assured that a vote for Raisa and a vote for the Liberal and coalition parties is going to deliver a wonderful representative here in Farah and really take it up to the government. If you want to send a message to this weak, incompetent and lying Prime Minister, please vote one Raisa in Farah. OK,
but as for this comment that Patterson was behaving like a mongrel dog, I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I think it's disgraceful and really unedifying, and it's an example that One Nation are talking about themselves and not talking about the people of Farah. Our focus is on the people of Farah, what they need, the strongest possible representation. As I say, Raisa is very focused on the job that she needs to do to stand up for the people who really need a voice in Canberra, and that's our focus today, tomorrow and right through.
If things don't go well for you, though, do you expect heat to return to your party and the leadership?
Oh, Peter, I never say never. We're working very, very hard every single day to protect Australians' way of life, to restore their standard of living. That is our focus under Angus Taylor's leadership. And I can tell you, if Raisa is elected, she will be a magnificent Member of Parliament.
Oh, when you say never about losing the by-election, is that what you're referencing there?
Yeah, you never say never in terms of I never give up hope that we can get across the line. I know it's very tough. I know things are running against us. But we will fight to the very end, Pete.
Okay.
You can be assured of that.
Just finally on immigration, some detail on the front page of the Oz today, Sarah, an extra plank of your immigration policies to be announced. So you'd, according to the report, cap immigration in line with new home builds. But when you need more migrants to actually help build the homes, how does that complicate the policy?
Well, Pete, migration under Labor is completely out of control. This government has lost control of our borders. More than 1.4 million people have come to this country under Labor in some 3.5 years, and there are simply not enough houses being built. The number of houses is running well behind, and Labor's incompetent policies are the cause of that, and that's why we are going to tie lower migration to the housing that is built in this country. It's completely out of whack, and we are not going to have a situation where Australians are pitted against Australians, where young Australians can't find anywhere to live. So we're very focused on dealing with the fact that migration standards are too low, the numbers are too high, and Angus will have a lot more to say about that in the budget report.
But when the master builders say we're short so many builders, I mean, don't we need more?
Well, we're not suggesting by any stretch that skilled migration won't continue to come to this country, but we've got to get the numbers right. We've got net oversized migration at the moment of 311,000 people coming to this country. As I say, more than 1.4 million people. We do not have enough houses, and we're very focused with our Australian values, ensuring that they are enforceable as a visa condition, ensuring that we only bring in the number of people that we can afford to house. And that is fundamental to our policy. And you'll hear more about that, of course, on Budget Reply Night.
All right. We will wait to find out. Sarah Henderson, thank you so much. Well, coming up on the program,